بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا مولاي وابن مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا شهيد يا غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. Enlighten your hearts and majalis with a loud salawat for Muhammad and Al Muhammad. Brother Ali, just a little more voice, just a little higher the volume. When we read the traditions of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam regarding the signs of the reappearance of the Imam and the signs of the end of times in general, we notice these ahadith, they describe those times as a time of moral decadence, where immorality and corruption are pervasive and entrenched in the society. It is a society that knows no shame, no haya. These two notions are completely absent of the society. It's a society that just wants to do whatever they like, whatever they want, completely disregarding shame. This is how the ahadith prophesize about the end of times. This is how the picture that they give us. It's a society that's lost its moral compass. In one tradition, Al-Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam speaks about this. He's narrated saying in this hadith about the signs of the reappearance of the 12th Imam. What happens before the 12th Imam reappears? He mentions some of the immorality and how we lose our moral compass. So the Imam says, وَرَأَيْتَ طَالِبَ الْحَلَالِ يُذَمْ وَيُعَيَّرْ وَطَالِبَ الْحَرَامِ يُمْدَحْ وَيُعَظَّمْ. He says in the end of times you will notice that when someone wants to live a life of halal, pleasing Allah, his lifestyle is all halal, this person is mocked, this person is scolded, this person is looked down upon. The society frowns at that person. This person is too extreme. This person is too strict. He is backwards. He's uncivilized. He's not up to date to this modern world. But on the other hand, when someone wants to live a life of haram, disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the person that is exalted and revered and respected. This person, the Imam says, will be praised, even though he wants to live a life of haram. Now, as you can see, my friends, to a certain degree, we find that evident in society today. Look at society today, and you see the hadith of the Imam, true, it applies to this day and age. And specifically, look at the life of our youth today, the youth in the West, here in the US. Look at universities and look at schools and youth. And look at how they understand what it means to be someone that is good, that's leading a good lifestyle, and someone that's leading a bad lifestyle. In schools and universities, who's usually the cool guy? In high school, universities, the cool guy is the one that has a girlfriend. If one good If two, even better. The more the better. The more girlfriends he has, the cooler he is, isn't he? That's the person that everyone looks up to. Oh, he's so lucky. Number two, he's the person that's always partying. That makes him cool. Number three, he's the person that drinks all the time. And number four, he's a person that listens to music, the best of the music all the time. So the idea that the youth have of someone that's cool, someone that is revered, someone that's respected, is all these harams. All this disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the cool person that is exalted. On the other hand, who's the lame individual? Who's the one that is called, he's not cool, he's lame, he's a geek, he's a nerd, all these words. It's the one that's always studying. It's the person that has the best grades and all he cares about is his studying. He never attends a party. Then that is not cool. If that person has absolutely no girlfriends, if the girl has no boyfriends, then that's not cool. If she decides the girl to wear hijab, that's not cool. It's when she comes half naked to school, that makes her cool, isn't it? That's how we understand our youth in this country. This is how they understand being cool and not cool. If a brother, if a young man, he sees someone, a female, dressed immodestly in front of him, and he decides to lower his gaze, as the Quran orders, this person will be frowned upon. That person is not cool anymore. When he says, I don't want to listen to music, I don't want to come to the parties, there's a question mark on this person. Is anyone going to look up to this person? What has happened to our standards? As you can see, what's halal is frowned upon and what's haram is exalted, it's revered, it's praised. And this is exactly what the Imam mentioned 1400 years ago. The end of times. Before the reappearance of the Imam, this is how we human beings will begin to lose our moral compass. This is how we will no longer understand what's good and what's bad. We look up to the haram and we frown upon the halal. And then the Imam continues. He says, وَرَأَيْتَ الْعُقُوقَ قَدْ ظَهَرْ وَاسْتُخِفَّ بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ. Another one of the aspects, another phenomenon of the end of times before the reappearance of the Imam, he says that you see parents are no longer important in one's life. His parents are no longer important. He doesn't show his parents the respect. Parents are neglected. They are abandoned. Most individuals are ungrateful towards their parents. They're abandoned, neglected. They're not respected anymore. My parents aren't that important anymore. And look at what's happened now. Look at our society. Is there anyone, leave religion aside, is there anyone that teaches us to love and respect our parents? There isn't, unfortunately. My parents, when I grow up, I have fun with my friends. I spend time with my friends. They are cool. My father, my mother, no. And as soon as they become 18, now they're adults, they want to leave and go and live with their friends in a dorm somewhere. And if the father or mother is lucky, maybe he'll get a phone call once a month. And when the father, aging father and mother is old and he is in need, he's left, he's abandoned. Because I have work, I have my own family, I have my own things, so I can leave my parents to the nursery homes. Isn't this right? And you can see this so true now, and unfortunately even in our Muslim communities. Our youth that are raised in the West, they no longer understand the need for respecting our parents. A few weeks ago I attended a wedding, brothers and sisters. And the groom was a very young man. He was, I think, 18 or 19. And he was sitting next to his father. His father is a scholar. So there was someone that was standing in front of the groom and his father. He was a poet and he was reading some lines of poetry in the wedding. Someone recorded this and put it on social media and it went viral. So amongst the things that the poet was saying, he was speaking, he started to speak to the groom and he told him, congratulations now that you're getting married, but I have to tell you one thing, don't forget your father. Don't forget your mother. Don't leave them. Don't abandon them. Always love them. Always respect them. So he started to say these words. So meanwhile, the young son, he took the hand of his father and he kissed it. And the video ends. This video, my friends, probably 1 million, more than 1 million people saw it. Everywhere I would go after that wedding, people would tell me, we saw you in that video, because I was sitting next to the father. And everyone was in love with this video. They found it to be so touching and moving. A few days ago, I met a brother when I arrived to the US in a different city. He also told me, I saw you in this movie. And then he told me, Sayyid, what a beautiful video it was. So I asked him why. What really, because I didn't find it so special. So I asked this person, why do you think this video is so important? Why did you love it so much? He said, Sayyidina, when I saw that young man take the hand of his father and kiss it, I started to cry. Why? He said, because Sayyidina, in this day and age, 2019, who does that anymore? An 18, 19-year-old son kissing his father's hand? You don't see that anymore. That's from the Stone Ages. That's from 50 years ago, 30 years ago. Especially here in the West. You don't see that anymore. A 17, 18-year-old son knows how to kiss the hand of his father. So he says, when I saw that, I started to cry. How beautiful that was, that he was able to raise his child in that beautiful way, how he kissed his hand. SubhanAllah. And you can tell this father had grievances with his children, maybe with his sons. His children never kiss his hands. Once upon a time, my friends, it was a norm, a custom, that when the father would come to the house, his children would line up. They would all stand. They would go to him, kiss his forehead, kiss his hand. Now, when the father comes home, the son is playing video games. The father says salam, and he says, Father, don't disrupt me. I'm playing video games. The girl is chatting with her friend on Instagram and on WhatsApp. Father, later, I'm busy now. We don't even know when my father or my mother comes, do we? What's happened, my friends? This is what the Imam prophesied about. He said, وَرَأَيْتَ الْعُقُوقَ قَدْ ظَهَرْ وَاسْتُخِفَّ بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ. Parents are no longer important. This is happening now. Unfortunately, even sometimes, good kids, you see them, they're good, they have good hearts, but they don't know how to show respect to their parents. Because this is how the society raises them. Nobody tells them, nobody teaches them. Every single day, I tell the young ones, when you wake up, go and kiss the hand of your mother and father. Every day. And you've done nothing. Don't feel so proud that you're a very good son. That's nothing. So the Imam al-Sadiq in this hadith, he continues after that. He speaks about the signs of the reappearance of the 12th Imam, the corruption, the immorality that will spread. And then he says this. He says, وَرَأَيْتَ الْقُرْآنَ قَدْ ثَقُلَ عَلَى النَّاسِ اسْتِمَاعُهُ وَخَفَّ عَلَيْهِمْ أو وَخَفَّ عَلَيْهِمْ اسْتِمَاعُ الْبَاطِلِ. He says that in the end of times, when someone reads Qur'an, it is so burdensome for people to hear Qur'an. It's so boring when someone starts reciting Qur'an. Qur'an to them is burdensome, it's boring. 5 minutes of Qur'an takes an hour. But when they listen to music, 2 hours of music, it's like 5 minutes. It's so fun, it's so entertaining. SubhanAllah, the words of God become boring. And these words of shaitan, have you seen what they say? Just try it, brothers and sisters. The older ones, the younger ones, I don't need to tell you to try it. But the older generation, just listen to the content of these songs. Wallahi, it is all about immoral things. It's all about infidelity, promiscuity, drugs, violence, love. It's all nonsense. We love listening to that. It's so fun, isn't it? But the Qur'an is so boring. And then the Imam, he continues, and he mentions so many examples of how immorality will spread until he reaches a level where he starts, a higher level. He starts mentioning some things that are just happening now and other things that have not even happened yet, but they will happen. For example, the Imam then says, and this is the epitome of immorality. He says towards the end of time, وَرَأَيْتَ النِّسَاءَ يَتَزَوَّجْنَ بِالنِّسَاءِ. This is Imam al-Sadiq 1400 years ago. He says a day will come in which you will see, it will become normal in the society that same genders will start to get married. They will start to get married as a husband and a partner, as a wife and a partner. And they'll have kids and they'll lead a life just like an average individual. This is Imam al-Sadiq saying this 1400 years ago. Subhanallah. You know, brothers and sisters, just 50 years ago, if I would have read, nobody's surprised now. When I read you this hadith, nobody's surprised. Why? Because now it has become normal, hasn't it? Same gender, marriage, it has become normal, accepted in most of the Western countries here. But if I would have read you this hadith 50 years ago, not 50 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, your jaws would have dropped. No way. A day will come in which the countries, the government, societies will legalize same-sex marriage? You would have told me, no way. 50 years ago, if I would have said this, everyone would have been surprised. The Imam is telling his companions things that their mind was boggled. No way. Society will accept this and it'll become normal? But now, because it's happened, there's absolutely no size. There's absolutely no one here is surprised because it's already happened. Just 50 years ago, right here next door in Manhattan, no one would dare say that I want to marry a man. No woman would dare say that. You know why? Because society would stigmatize that person. Society would look down at that person as being something disgusting. Now I dare you to say anything against them. We have to close our mouths. We can't say anything anymore. They'll take legal action, won't they? They'll stigmatize you now. You see how the tables have turned? And then the Imam, he goes one step higher. He says, a time will come, وَرَأَيْتَ الرَّجُلْ يُعَيَّرْ عَلَىٰ إِتْيَانِ النِّسَاءِ Allahu Akbar. He says, a time will come. Like I mentioned, 30, 40 years ago, if someone was accused of being gay, that person, that was the worst accusation here in America. That person was seen as a pervert. No, even if he was gay, he would right away say no. He would deny it because it was the worst accusation and he was seen as a pervert. The Imam says, a day will come in which if you say I am straight, people will look at you as a pervert. Can you believe that, brothers and sisters? And these are the words of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. He says, a day will come in which you will no longer have the courage. You won't be able to say, I'm straight. Because that's how our moral standard will be so upside down. We will look down upon that person. Are you serious? You're a man and you want to marry a woman? Are you crazy? Wait, give it some time. 50 years ago, people wouldn't believe that same gender marriage would be legalized. Now you don't believe that this will happen, that being straight would be something looked down upon and stigmatized. Wait 20 years, wait 50 years, wait 100 years. What's going to happen? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And then the Imam says, وَرَأَيْتَ ذَوَاتَ الْأَرْحَامِ يُنْكَحَ. And the Imam says, you will see incest becoming pervasive, meaning family members marrying each other, meaning a father marrying his daughter, a brother marrying. We're not saying having desires, marrying. They'll have a wedding, a public ceremony, a father and a daughter. Maybe a father and a son, who knows? Maybe a daughter and her mother. Allahu A'lam. With what's happening in society right now, my friends, we can't even keep track. The other day I was reading about the different genders. I remember once upon a time there used to be male and female, correct? Now there's 50 other things. And that's why they have the abbreviations LGBTQI, ZW, XYZ. Every day they add a new letter because they keep on inventing new methods, new ways, unbelievable. So the Imam, he tells us that immorality will reach a level that is unbelievable. And it all shows that our moral compass is lost. We don't know what's right and wrong anymore. And this has happened today, my friends. In this society today, many things that used to be considered immoral Now we're accepting it. Now it's moral. Now it's okay, such that if someone from the past would come, from 50 years ago, just 50 years ago, if someone would come, that died 50 years ago, he would come to society today, he would be shocked and so disturbed at what has happened. What happened to you? Why all this immorality? Where's the haya? Where's the shame? Why is everything evolving? Immorality is evolving so much. What's the problem? What is the problem, brothers and sisters? Why in the last 50 years, immorality has evolved and reached levels unheard of? Why are we in such a moral decline in society? Every day starts accepting a new form of immoral act. Why? You think it's a coincidence? You think it's because all of a sudden we've become more advanced? All of a sudden we've decided to become so nice and give everyone their rights, and that's why this is happening? I don't think so. For thousands of years the human being has oppressed, and the world has been filled with oppression and dhulm and corruption. Why all of a sudden we've become nice and we want to give same gender rights and we want to do this? No. It's not because we want to give rights. The reason, my friends, this is happening, this rapid moral decline is happening, is because there are certain hands, there are certain forces that are doing this. And amongst the most important of these forces is the media. Listen carefully, brothers and sisters. The media has a big part to do with this. Don't underestimate media, my friends. The media is very powerful. And one of their powers is that they are able to shape public opinion. Public opinion regarding any issue, whether it may be political. For example, the president, is he doing good? Is he failing? Is he succeeding? The media has a hand in that. They shape how you see the president. Politically, socially, all the social issues, media. Religions, people's understanding of religions from the media, large portion of it. People's understanding of other cultures from the media. Media is very powerful, and one reason why the media is very powerful is because they use what they call propaganda. Propaganda. Anything. They can take any issue and present it any way they like. They can take a serial mad killer, a serial killer, and they can present him as a freedom fighter, as a very, very innocent person that was just fighting for his life. And vice versa, they can take someone who's really a freedom fighter, fighting for his liberty, and they can show him as a terrorist. They can make you believe whatever they want. So they have the power to shape public opinion, even when it comes to morality. How I understand what's moral and what's immoral. How do I understand that? A main part of that is from the media. The media teaches you. A main part of that is molded. A main part of that is taught and fed to us by the media. What's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. All from the media. And more specifically, my friends, the film industry. AKA Hollywood. Hollywood is very powerful, my friends, in molding people's attitudes, behaviors, and people's understanding of morality. They dictate to the people, to the society, this is right, this is moral, because I say so. The film industry. They can take any issue, my friends, that's unaccepted in the society, that's taboo, give them some time, and they will make it into a completely acceptable thing in society. Any issue you want, no matter what it is, they have the power, they use their powers to make it acceptable in the eyes of people. And they have done it so many times. So many times they have done it. So next time, my friends, you go to the movies, especially the young ones, don't think it's just an innocent movie I'm watching in the cinemas. Go have fun, buy some popcorn, buy some food, go sit and laugh at the funny parts and cry at the sad parts, and then leave with that nice impression of all the of all the scenes that you saw and all the graphics and animation and so on and so forth. Don't think it's just an innocent movie. Behind every movie there's an agenda, my friends, that they're trying to feed you this poison, but subconsciously you don't know it. You don't know it, you're taking it all in. Hollywood, my friends, is one of the main reasons why we see this moral decline in the West. Day after day, more and more immoral acts, immoral things are becoming moral. It's because of the film industry. How do they do that? Now obviously the shaitan helps them. What do you think the shaitan does? He's sleeping all day? The shaitan is very clever. Don't think the shaitan is still using old methods. He just comes and whispers in my ear. No. As human beings evolve, the shaitan also evolves. So he obviously works hand in hand with them. But how exactly do they do it? I'll mention a few points so we can be careful, my friends, from these movies, and don't look at the film industry as Hollywood just as an innocent movie. But first, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Number one, the first tool that they use, the first way that they spread immorality and they make something immoral into moral is they use a notion called desensitization. What is desensitization? Let me give you an example. If you see in the Middle East, let me give you the example of Iraq. I remember when the old regime of Saddam was toppled, for a while, I don't know, was it a couple of months or more, there was relative peace and security in Iraq. And then all of a sudden, there was turmoil. All of a sudden, what happened? Explosions. I remember the first explosion that happened, there was a huge backlash. There was so much chaos, everybody talking about it, there was uproar. You had news channels talking about that explosion for 5 hours. Everyone was speaking about it, tweeting about it. People went crazy, correct? The reaction from that explosion was huge. Because people died. Because now there's no safety, there's no security. And then a few days after, another explosion happened. And a third, and a fourth, and a 10th, and a 1,000, and 10,000. Now, you think the reaction stayed the same? Of course not. Now, when I hear there's an explosion, when I see an article, explosion in Iraq, I just skip it. Because I've heard it 10,000 times. The more you hear it, the more it becomes pervasive, the more it's happening, the less your reaction gets until you become desensitized. It doesn't even make the headlines anymore. And in Afghanistan, the same thing. I was just reading, I think, yesterday I was watching the news, and there was, some terrorist activity. They killed, I think, 15 people in Afghanistan. Does anybody care anymore? Even the people of Afghanistan, they're desensitized. People of Iraq, when they hear of an explosion, they don't care. They'll just continue their lives because they have become desensitized. When something happens again and again and again and again, people don't care. Because how much reaction can I give? Once, twice? We're going to get tired at the end of the day. It's going to become normal. This idea is called desensitization. Now take the same idea with immorality, it works the same way. You see, a brother once asked me, Sayyid, what do you think will happen if one day incest will become normal? If, for example, mother wants to marry her son, what do you think the reaction will be if incest becomes normal? You know what I told him? The reaction will be nothing. Nothing will happen. Life will continue as it is continuing now. Yes, I told him maybe the first day, the first time it happens, the people in the city, they're going to talk about it, they're going to shame those two people, there's going to be some backlash, but then they're going to get over it. A second person does it, a third person, a 10th person, 1,000 people do it. Our reaction is going to get less and less and less, and nothing's going to happen. And let me give you two testimonies to that. The first testimony to that, I was reading that here in America, you know, up until the 1960s, according to most Americans, listen carefully, brothers and sisters, research this if you don't believe me. According to most American people in America, up until the 1960s and early 1970s, it was widespread belief, most Americans, that it is a disgrace for a woman to wear pants. Do you know that? Google it. This is not in Kabul, not in Iraq, Karbala. This is in New York, in Manhattan. It was unacceptable for a woman to wear pants. A woman was expected to wear a skirt, a dress, and the skirt had to be up to the ankles, not like the skirts you see today. This was the belief of most people. If a woman would wear pants, she would be shamed. This is aib. Aib that we don't have anymore. There was some shame back then. This is aib. This is wrong. You're a woman. A man wears pants, not you. And thus they were shamed. And this belief was so widespread that many schools would ban girls from wearing pants. You wear pants, you can't come to school. Teachers would kick them out of the class. Until 1972, the women's rights movements and so on and so forth, they pressured and lobbied the government until in 1972, the government here in America, they passed a law banning schools from requiring girls to wear skirts. You can't ask them to wear skirts anymore. They could wear whatever they want. They could wear pants. This was in 1972. Now, it's 2019. If the people of the 60s were to come and see what women are wearing now, I don't know what would happen to them. You see how slowly we become desensitized? During the first few months, when girls started wearing pants in school, there was backlash. People were talking against it. They had no shame. But then after a few months, it became normal. Now to you, you're even surprised that I tell you there used to be a time in the 60s and the 70s where this was seen as unacceptable. This was seen as aim, shameful act. We have become so desensitized that we don't even see it as something wrong anymore. Slowly. See how slowly morality erodes? And this is here in America. Don't tell me somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah, they're backwards. Yeah, they this, they that. So back then in the 50s, obviously they would have asked themselves this, will a time come in which all women will wear pants? 10 times that, 20 times that. Just 50 years ago, like I said, people would have said, what will happen if a day comes in which same-gender marriages become legal? They would have said, Allahu Akbar. That day, it's going to be Yawm al-Qiyamah. It's going to be the day of judgment. That day came and nothing happened, right? So anything you put in your imagination, immorality, it will come and nothing will happen. And one way that it's happening through is desensitization. Even if you're against it, even if you don't like it, but at least you will be desensitized to it. Meaning you're not going to say anything. You're not going to react to it because you see it every day. It becomes normal. And that's what they want. Fine. You don't like this morality? You don't have to do it. Just leave us alone. Let us do it freely. Hollywood understood the power of desensitization. And they use this in their movies every single day. Any immoral act they want to make moral, they put it in one movie, in 2 movies, in 20 movies, 50 movies. The first time people are talking about it, oh, did you see that movie? They had this scene. It's so ugly, it's so nasty, it's this, it's shameful. But then a 5th movie, a 10th movie, 20th movie, the backlash, it goes down and down and down until we're completely desensitized to it. They use this tool to flood you with all this immorality so that you stay quiet. You don't say anything anymore. There's no reaction. And according to our ahadith, this is how immorality spreads. When nobody says anything, when we become desensitized, immorality spreads, evil spreads. And that's why one of our duties as a Muslim is what? Al-amru bil-ma'ruf wal-nahy 'anil munkar. To enjoin the good and forbid the evil. Enjoin the good, forbid the evil. Why? Let that guy do the evil all he wants. I don't care, it's none of my business. It is your business, because when I stay quiet from this guy and that guy and everybody else, people no longer see it as haram. People no longer see it as shameful. People no longer see it as wrong. They become desensitized. Say no to the haram from day one so it doesn't spread. So that's the first tool they use. Desensitization. The more I'm exposed to that, the more I become desensitized. I won't have any reaction to this immorality. That's number one. Number two, a second method they use to spread their evil, their immorality, and make it okay, after they flood you with all these lewd and immoral scenes, they try to show immoral acts as being cool and exciting. You know, there is a movie, a soap opera, many episodes, a few years ago here in America. The theme of the movie was that there's a bunch of women that are married, and the theme, the general idea of that movie was that these women get into affairs and their life becomes much more exciting. Millions of people watch this. What kind of message this leaves in their minds? When a lady is married and she watches this movie, when a man is married and he watches this movie, and they show that their lives become so cool, so nice, there's absolutely no problems after they have so many problems and their life was boring. And on and on and on, they show you all these immoral acts as being cool. They're stars of Hollywood. Look at what they dress, what they do. So all of this subconsciously, oh, okay. So after I start doing this immoral act, I become cool. So they show you just the good side. It's not really, it's all fake. It's all a mirage. They don't show you the harms of infidelity, do they? They don't show you how destructive it is. It's just like someone that comes and shows you the good, the good aspects of doing drugs and how you feel good. But what about the destruction? What about the addiction? What about the harms? He doesn't tell you. They hide that to show you the nice things. And people are fooled, unfortunately. That's number two. And number three is through the stars themselves, the actors, the celebrities of Hollywood. You see, Hollywood is very powerful, very smart in making stars. They could easily make anyone loved. People love actors, don't they? They love celebrities. Everyone admires to them. And unfortunately, one of the problems of today is that many of our youth, their role models are the actors, are the celebrities of Hollywood. They look up to them. They admire them. They aspire to them. Now, once that person becomes my role model, anything that role model does, I learn from. I see, oh, it's nice, it's cool, because he did it, because she did it. And they have the largest following. Go into social media sites like Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, you'll find that the individuals that have the most followers are the celebrities. Why? What's there to learn from these people? Do they have any knowledge, any wisdom, any good thing to share? Nothing. Just because their looks and they look so cool, people admire them. They have 50 million, 100 million, 80 million followers. You want to start a new trend? You want to start a new movement? You want to start a new religion? You want to start a new standard? Let that actor do it, and you'll have millions of sheep following him. Just because he did it. Just because she did it. They become our role models. Now, Hollywood creates the star. And then anything this star does, we see it as nice and cool. If that star does something immoral, our youth say, you know what? Maybe it's not so bad after all, because he did it and she did it and it was cool. So anything immoral they do, our youth see it as acceptable. Hollywood knows that. So if they have any agenda, something immoral, they want to make it moral, what do? They bring these actors who are loved, everyone looks up to, they're our role models, and they make them do it again and again and again. Our youth follow them, they're our role models, and all of them follow in their footsteps. And that's why I was reading a book, my friends, about how the gay movement spread. How is it that now everybody sees that it's okay? It's not aib, it's not shameful, it's not immoral, to get married to another man, or same genders getting married. Studies, research has been done on this, that one of the most powerful ways they relied on was Hollywood, media. They would bring these actors, these singers, and he would play a role of someone that's gay. They would bring a singer, same thing. Or they would ask this person, the celebrity, to promote gay rights. And he would go out promoting, endorsing. he's my role model. Eventually, we get bombarded by all these actors, all these celebrities, until we see it as something acceptable. Subhanallah. So don't look at it as an innocent movie, my friends. And next time when you go to the movies, next time you turn on the TV, you're seeing a show, know that every single minute of this show, they're trying to feed you something. They have an agenda that they want to shove down your throat. And it will only get worse and worse as time progresses. Immorality's been going down in an unbelievable way. And now, this is being exported to countries all over the world. Before, it just used to be here in America, maybe in Canada, just in some parts of the West. Now, my friends, go in the streets of Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia. You will see that there is no house that doesn't watch Hollywood. Because they are exporting this culture to all the world. You know, the leading export of the US, you know what it is? It's not the iPhone. It's not any product. Their leading export to the world is their culture, the American culture, and specifically Hollywood. Every country of the world, you'll have people, the young people, they love Hollywood movies. Now when you love Hollywood movies, all the evil, all the immorality that's there comes with it. When this child, this young man watches, he takes in all this poison, even in the Middle East. So now this immorality is becoming a worldwide plague. Everywhere you go, you see this immorality is spreading, unfortunately. And that's why, my friends, we have to be extra careful. And that's the entire point of these majalis. The majalis of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. At least for 10 nights during the year, every night we come and we try to leave this dunya, this immorality, because once you leave this masjid, it's all immorality. It's all dunya, it's all desires. We come for 10 nights out of the year to remember, to remind ourselves of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the goals that Imam Hussein fought for. This is what we truly have to aspire to. We seek inspiration from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, not from these shayateen, these devils that teach us what's right and wrong. I take my morality and my values from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. How many values were embodied on the day of Ashura? Wallahi, if we don't attend the majalis, we will be lost, my friends. We'll be lost because it's all immorality outside. We come, we remember the sacrifice of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn and how he gave everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's worth it. When you sacrifice and give what you have for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives you the greatest reward. 1400 years after, we remember Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam was able to do that. Was able to revolt and rebel against Yazid through his loyal companions. 70, 80 loyal companions that Imam Hussein had, that he himself, he said about them. Wallahi, it's an amazing statement that the Imam said. He said, Wallah ma ra'aytu ashaban khayran wala awfa min ashabi. He says, Wallahi, no one has been given such loyal, dedicated, great, noble ashab, companions like my ashab. My ashab are unmatched because their loyalty, my friends, was unbelievable. Imam Hussein, on the night of Ashura, he sat with his ashab and he wanted to speak to them. He knew it was the last night. So he gathered all of them and he began to speak to them. He told them, my dear companions, I want to thank you for all that you have done. And you stayed with me, you defended me. But I want to tell you that tomorrow, we will all be killed. So if you think that we're going to rule and we're going to have power, no. This road will only lead to martyrdom, shahada. And the enemies just want me. They want to kill me. They don't want to kill any one of you. They will only kill you if you get in the way. So please leave. Allahu Akbar. The Imam doesn't want his companions to get killed. So please leave, spare yourselves. Why stay and get killed with me? And then look at the soft heart of Imam Hussein, because he doesn't want anyone to feel embarrassed that he's leaving. He told them it was night. He said, I will turn off the candles. فَاتَّخِذُوا هَذَا اللَّيْلِ جَمَلًا. He says that I will turn off the candles, so it's going to be pitch black dark, so whoever leaves, no one will notice. Please leave. He turns off the candles. A while after, he turns on the candles. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, he then sees his companions. None of them moved. No one left. No one ran away. So he told his companions, you're not going to go. This is your last chance. Leave. He sees all of them. They stand with their swords and they tell him, Ya Aba Abdullah, we will never leave you. And then subhanallah, it's as if there was a contest. Each one then rose to show his loyalty to Abu Abdullah. Wallahi, these stories, you will never hear them but in Ashura. They never happened but with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Such loyalty, devotion and dedication. Muslim ibn Awsajah, he told Abu Abdullah while he was holding his sword, he told him, Ya Abu Abdullah, let me tell you how much I love you. You want me to leave you? He said, Wallahi, if I were to be cut up into many pieces, and then my body would be burned, and then the ashes would be dispersed in the air, and this would be done to me 70 times, I would not leave you, Abu Abdullah. May the lions, may the creatures eat me if I leave you. Never will I leave you, Ya Hussein. You see their love for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. They were there to die with him. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, who was not even a follower of Ahlul Bayt until recently, until a few days before Ashura. He told Imam Hussein, Wallahi, if I would be killed 1,000 times. It's as if it's a contest. One says 70, one says 1,000. They ran to sacrifice their lives for Abu Abdullah. If I were to be killed 1,000 times for you, Wallahi, I would never leave you. Wallahi, every time I would be more proud about it. I would never leave you. How could we answer your mother Fatima on the day of judgment if we would abandon you? Just abandon you between the enemies. Never, Ya Abu Abdullah. We wish we can give our souls for you more than once. You want us to leave you? Another one of them. The Imam heard that his son was imprisoned by some enemies somewhere far. So he told him, please go and worry about your son. You know what he said? He said, Abu Abdullah, I forgot about my son. I have no son anymore. Now all I know is you. All I care about is you. I forgot about my son. I don't care about anything but you, Ya Hussein. And then there was Abbas. He took off his clothes. He went between the enemies. They asked him, oh Abbas, have you lost your mind? He said, yes, Hubbul Hussein jannani. The love of Abu Abdullah made me lose my mind. I don't know what to do. One after the other, these loyal companions on the day of Ashura, they went and they gave their souls for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Amongst the greatest of them was Habib ibn Mudahir. Habib was not there. He came late. The last one to arrive was Habib. So Imam Hussein was waiting for him. He had set a standard aside for Habib, the liwa. And he was just looking, waiting for Habib until all of a sudden Habib arrived. Once he came, he saw Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He threw himself from the horse on the feet of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. He began to kiss the feet of Abu Abdullah. And he's an old man. Zainab alayhi salam, she heard someone came. She asked Ali al-Akbar to go and ask, who is it? Ali al-Akbar came. He told Zainab, this is Habib. Zainab felt so proud that Habib, she was so happy that Habib came. She told Ali al-Akbar, go and tell Habib that Zainab sends her salam to you. Ali al-Akbar came to Habib. He told him, my aunt Zainab sends her salam. You know what Habib did? He took the dust of Karbala and he began to pour it on his head. And he said, who am I that Zainab sends her salam to me? I don't deserve the salam of Zainab. Do you see who these men were, the companions of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? They loved Abu Abdullah more than to death. More than to death. To say to death is not enough. Amongst them was Wahab al-Kalbi. Wahab was a Christian man that had converted with his family. He was there with his mother and he was a newlywed. He was there with his wife. So his mother was encouraging him to go and fight. She told him, go and give your soul, make Imam Hussein proud. He will give you his shafa'ah on the day of judgment. She would encourage him. He wanted to go, but then his wife started discouraging him. She told him, we're newlyweds. You're going to go and die and leave me as a widow. She discouraged him, but his mother encouraged him. So at the end, he sought permission from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He took his sword, he went, he fought, he killed some of them. He came back and he told his mother, Mother, have I made you proud? She said, yes, bayadallah wajhak. Imam Hussein will be, inshallah, your intercessor on the day of Ashura. And then as he was going to fight again, he heard his wife. She came out and she said, اذهب وقاتل دون الطيبين. Wahab, go and fight and give your soul for the noble ones, for Ahlul Bayt. Wahab was surprised. He looked back. He saw it's his wife encouraging him to go and fight. So he told her, what's going on? I'm surprised. I'm confused. Moments ago, you were discouraging me. You didn't want me to go. Now you say, go and give your life. She told him, نعم إن واعية الحسين كسر قلبي كسرت قلبي. She said, yes, I heard the voice of Hussein cry out, ألا هل من ناصر ينصرني. I saw Hussein crying out for help, and that broke my heart. I could no longer be selfish and tell you to stay. And thus now I tell you, go and fight for Hussein because he's very lonely. He doesn't have enough supporters. He went and he gave his soul for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Until all of them, they went one after the other. They gave their souls for Imam Hussein. The Imam remained all alone. He saw no one there. He went on a hill. All he could see from them was their bloody, mutilated bodies. So he began to cry out their names. Ya Habib, Ya Habib, Ya Muslim, Ya Burayr, قوموا عن نومتكم يا كرام. My loyal companions, I need you now. Why have you left me? يا أبطال الصفا ويا فرسان الهيجاء. Oh my loyal companions, oh warriors, didn't you say that we will give our life for you? Didn't you say that we will never abandon you? Your Imam is all alone in Karbala now. Come and protect him, come and defend him. Ey yaran man kujayid, ey ashab man biyayid, ey yaran man kujayid, ey ashab man biyayid. امامتون تنها گذاشتید ای یاران من بیایید. The Imam made a call. He said, ألا هل من ناصر ينصرنا, ألا هل من معين يعيننا. Is there no one that wants to protect the son of Rasulullah? Is there no one that wants to defend the lonely Imam in Karbala? And then the Imam made another call. It's as if the Imam said, شيعتي مهما شربتم عذب ماء فاذكروني. شيعتي مهما شربتم عذب ماء فاذكروني. أو سمعتم بغريب أو شهيد من شهید کربلایم سر بریده از قفایم و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه من چنین بی کس نبودم کاندر این وادی رسیدم بی کسم کردی دو چشم از چشم خون مال مالم من شهید کربلایم سر بریده از قفایم و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه همه با هم بگید و حسینه وحسينا وحسينا أكبرم كشتي دعونو جعفر وعباس وقاسم این منم که از ظلمتان چون طایر بشکست بالم من شهید کربلایم سر بریده از قفایم همه با هم و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه و حسینه وحسينا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Everyone raise your hands, supplicate to Allah. Let us ask for the love of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may forgive us of our sins, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may accept our a'mal, may answer our hajat. We ask Him to grant us the shafa'ah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the next life, and the ziyarah of Abi Abdullah al-Hussein in this life. Everyone together, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Allahu, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج واجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والمستشهدين بين يديه والأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات. الفاتحة مع الصلوات.